some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to some. Heaven just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to some. Could've been knew that you've been down. I'm up to some. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking, no, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cause I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight. You see me different every time I stay in life and make beats more. You control the shift like a keyboard. Hold on, wait, like a paradigm and keep running on like a marathon. Then you reach for your blocks like Farrakhan. But after that be the weedo. Told me that you wanna meet me, no. I don't wanna really be mean, no. But I've had better on the East Coast. Fuck you for the green like CeeLo. All about the green like she go. Phone blowing up like CeeLo too. Guess Ben really got the keys on too, like I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. Living made me get right. They just gotta sit tight. They can have.
Hey,
What up, what up? What up, what up?
what's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, thank you for coming to being on our show. What's next? You know, we have an exciting lunch tonight, and Dan's gonna go ahead and explain about it.
Absolutely. So, first of all, welcome again to the Wednesday night What's Next Porterhouse KC and Square One Business Services session. We're excited for tonight. It's going to be another great one. Can you so really quick before we get into it, I wanted to say that Morgan is not able to tap in with us this evening, so you don't see Morgan with Square One in the show tonight, but she'll be back next week, and so so we're excited about that. We got some great guests today, and so why don't you go ahead and I'm gonna try to get my orientation right. There she is up here in that corner. Why don't you start, and we just want to go around and introduce yourselves, who you are, what your business is, what you do, and we'll kick it off like that.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Kenyatta Gant, founder and CEO of Pink Lips Cosmetics. Been in business. I'll be celebrating 9 years this month. I'm a full-time makeup artist, and I sell my cosmetics at my cosmetic store here in Kansas City called Pink Lips Cosmetic Store, and I sell them online as well. I'm just a passionate business owner who loves to make women feel beautiful and feel good about themselves, and I'm super passionate about the beauty industry and my product. So yeah.
Thank you. That's dope. All right, Tahirah.
Hi, everybody. I am Tahirah Hinds. I am the owner of Sweetwists Loctician Services. We are a salon that specializes in locked hair. We just hired a couple girls who also specialize in natural hair. We've been in business for 6 years, but I think that really for the last 3 years, people have just started to business. I'm very excited about the connections that I'm making in Kansas City, and I'm excited about the lives that we are changing with locks in Kansas City. It's a growing trend, a growing business, a growing journey that people are taking, and I'm excited that people are choosing our business to help start their journeys. We also sell products. We just launched our website, so you can find access to all of our stylists, all of our products, and any type of classes or seminars that we have coming up. And you can find us at sweetwists.net. So that's just SWEETWISTS.net.
Dope.
All right, let's keep it going.
I'm Shayla Nash. I am a professional makeup artist based here in Kansas City. I help women and sometimes men look their best for the most important moments. So my work is the title is commercial film and television. I enjoy spending time on set. I'm doing it for about 10 years, full time. So you can find me at www.shayla.com or most of the work can be in Instagram as well. That's at Shayla_MUA. I'm still being on camera, so thanks for having me.
Okay.
Shayla, it sounds like it's really digitally really choppy. I'm not sure if you can move to the side or something or do something.
I think my Wi-Fi was giving me some space. I don't know if that's it. Is it better?
Not yet. We'll work on it.
Okay.
Mimi?
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me good?
Yep.
Looking
Okay,
long.
cool. I'm Mimi. Well, some people call me Mia. That's my government. I'm from Kansas City, so I'm happy to connect with you guys. And a lot of you I know and have worked with before. But I am in Atlanta now. I've been here since 2000, and I created the Glamatory 5 years ago. I've been a makeup artist for almost 14 years now. And I also own Grind Pretty, which is a community, a membership community and subscription box for female entrepreneurs. So I'm happy to be here and share some knowledge.
It's dope. It's dope. Thank you, Mimi.
Who's that? Uh-oh, this way.
No,
That way.
Okay.
is it?
I guess it's my turn. Hi, everybody. My name is Lussette Walker. I am the owner of Luse Hair Salon. I've been in business for 12 years. We are located downtown Kansas City. Also have Luse Hair's products online at www.losehairsproducts.com. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 14 years now. I'm also a licensed.
Uh-oh. We lost. Lucette, we lost you.
Okay, am I back?
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
I don't even know where I left off. Sorry. I'm on my phone and I got calls coming in, so I apologize. But so I've been a salon owner for 12 years. I'm also a educator. I teach the business of beauty at Lamar's Cosmetology and Barber College. And yeah, that's my story.
Dope. Thank you. Welcome. We got one more guest.
Reese Lee.
Uh-oh, let me get you off mute.
Yeah, he got to unmute. There we go.
Is it unmuted? Can we hear you? Did you unmute? You're still on mute.
Okay, let me take it off.
There we go. You got it.
Hi, everyone. Hi, ladies. My name is Reese Lee from Kansas City, Kansas, owner of the Powder Room Makeup and Skincare Studio. I've been doing makeup for over 10 years now, and I'm also a licensed esthetician over in Kansas City as well. And I'm happy to be here, and I know all these ladies.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Hey, really quick before we get going, I just want to shout out to some of the folks that are watching us, tapped in with us. We got Mr. 816 himself, Busy Benton, that's tapped in with us. We got April Dixon tapped in. We got Glenn, that's my barber. He was actually on the show before. He's all about the beard game. Well, not just the beard game, but he's a dope barber. And we got D Coop in the building from where's that? D Coop. What up, Porterhouse KC fam? Be cool. Hey, if you are watching and we can't see you, you have commented, go ahead and just throw an emoji in the comment section, throw something in the comment section to let us know that you are watching. Let me get Shayla back on here. There she goes. There she is.
Close out of my other one. Hold on.
She's clear. She's clear. Hey, so the next, we got Linda from school watching as well. What's up, Linda? Uh-oh, it's an echo. So if you got, okay. Awesome. Cool. So, Sharon, let's go ahead and start you out with shout out because I know we always have a long list of people to shout out. So,
yes, actually, mine's is kind of short this week. I'm Sharon Thompson, the other co-founder of the Porterhouse KC, and my shout outs, my first shout out is my wife with Amethyst Place, the Monica and Brandy versus, yes, I said Blessed Books and Wine, Naeem on the Joe Goldberg podcast, Deanna Nunez, Kaufman Foundation Chess, the students at the PHKC class cohort, which Dan and I teach every Saturday, and Rest in Power Chadwick and John Thompson. And that's it for my shout
man,
out.
I think you read my whole list.
I did.
You literally read my list of shout outs. That's kind of,
now he don't have no shout outs.
That's horrible. That was horrible. So yeah, I want to shout out my wife too. She's getting ready for school. She's a principal. She's really excited about this new year and trying to help change what's going on in the education system. So we said Monica and Brandy because I'm not going to go down this whole list again. But I do want to re-acknowledge Chadwick Boseman and John Thompson. Chadwick, Black Panther, man, he meant a lot to a lot of young folks in our community. He was their superhero, and he passed away. So we just want to say rest in power to Chadwick. And then I also wanted to say something a little bit about the social unrest. I'm not going to go too far into it, but I do want to acknowledge what's going on in our communities, and I want to make sure that we're on the right side of history. And what I mean by that is it's a time right now. This is a time. If you've ever had this thought or feeling about doing something in your community, politically, whatever the case may be, even online, right? This is the time to do it because literally we've never had a time like this in history, right? So I just encourage you, if you've ever felt the need to be a voters' rights advocate, or to jump out there and talk about your feelings online, or have group discussions about what's going on in the community, it all matters, right? Or getting folks registered to vote, whatever the case may be, do it, right? This is the time to do it. It's unprecedented times, but this is the time that we need you to stand up and speak out. So that's kind of it. I'll leave that there. We do have Michele Whatley that joined us. She is here now, right? We got her the link. I don't know what happened, but let's let Michele introduce herself before we kind of go forward. Michele?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Michele Whatley. I'm the founder of Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet. It's a nonprofit named for Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for Congress and to run for president. And the Kitchen Cabinet. In politics and advocacy, the Kitchen Cabinet is a group of people who set the strategy and set the tone and the resources to get agenda pieces moved. And I think that Black women should be at that decision-making table. Honored to have the brothers come together and bring together all these great women. I do not do makeup, so I'm hoping that I can at least keep up with the likes of all of the beauties on this screen, and excited to be participating today.
Welcome. Thank you again for accepting the invitation. We appreciate it. So we have a section in this in our show where we do flowers. We do a shout out and throw flowers out there. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that people really know how important they are to others, right? Is there an echo? Is there somebody? If you got another phone, another device watching it, if you could mute it or something like that, that would help us out a little bit. Something like that. I don't know. It was an echo. But anyway, flowers. So I'm not going to go too far into it. We got a big guest, a big show, and I don't want to take too much more time. But I do want to tell you all that we appreciate you all for staying forward as business owners. I know it probably was tough to figure out what this next step was, what we're going to do, what we're going to figure out. And you all stay forward, and you all continue to do what it is that you do, your craft, your art, and also obviously as business owners, you maintain that. It's necessary in our community. Like black business is necessary in our community, and you guys in the beauty industry, the hair, health industry are the pillars of our communities. So in a lot of ways, so we want to give you guys shout outs and applause. And also Michele for staying forward too in this political landscape, right? And she's out here educating folks and making sure folks know what the real deal is, right? And trying to help us like navigate through all that minutia that's kind of spread in the space, in the political space. So we appreciate you for continuing to do what it is that you do as well. So that's our flowers. So we appreciate you all. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. All right. So first question: why did we pick this week to discuss the beauty industry and in small business, and then also talk about the Crown Act? So I got a little history, right? Because we told some folks to do their homework, right? The last post, we didn't do a show last week, but in that post, we wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of what the Crown Act was. So I'm not sure how many people actually went out and did their research. However, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Crown Act, but then we want to go into Michelle Watts' thoughts on the Crown Act. Right. Well, first of all, the beauty industry. The global beauty industry generates $500 billion in sales a year and accounts for millions of jobs, directly and indirectly. Made up with makeup and hair, we wanted to highlight these successful entrepreneurs and let our community know about their stories during COVID. Also, when it comes to hair and trying to apply for jobs, it can be hard for some people. Employers might not hire you based on your looks or your hair. This is not fair, and this is why the Crown Act was created in 2019 to ensure the protection against discrimination based on race hairstyles by extending statutory protections to the hair texture and protective styles such as braids, locks, twists, knots in the workplace and public schools. So that's enough of that. Michele, what's your thoughts on the Crown Act? Why does it matter to you so much? And why should it matter to others? Did you mute? All right, we got you muted. Let me unmute you. Unmute yourself.
There you go.
I done muted myself.
There you
Okay,
go.
can y'all hear me now? Can we hear me now?
We got it.
Yeah, I think you did an expert job of giving us the political jargon version of the Crown Act. But basically, the Crown Act is an initiative that was started in California and New York to make it illegal to discriminate based on hairstyles. And so we've all experienced this as Black women. I have at this point in my career been on different panels and town halls and wondered if I needed to straighten my hair to be taken seriously, right? Because of the way we view Black hair in the professional and academic space. And so what we're trying to do is ensure that it's illegal for any public space, government-run space, workplace, or academic setting, school, to discriminate on us or our kids based on their hair. You might have heard about the case in Texas where the young man was getting ready to graduate high school and was told he could not graduate from high school because of his locks. There was a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court where African American women applied for a job, got the job, came in to sign paperwork, and when they saw that she had locks and twists, rescinded the job offer. Right? We experience this all the time, in which racism is not overt, it's covert through the use of language. Because it's not in our laws that locks and braids and twists and the type of hairstyles that Black people typically wear, because that's not embedded in the law and the definition of race and discrimination, if you bring that suit or you take that to court, you won't have grounding to stand on to sue an employer or a school or any other institution for discrimination. It matters to me because I want to bring myself and my full self to every space that I'm in. And I don't want to be discriminated against because I choose to wear my hair the way it grows out of my head. There's no other race of people that has to alter their hair chemically or with heat or anything else to be viewed as professional and to be accepted in a public place. And I want me and all Black people that I come in contact with, all Black people, period, to have that experience in which they're not judged for their hair, but for what they bring to the table.
Awesome. I love the non-political, the straight to the point version better than this text version that we found online. So
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that. So any ladies, any thoughts or opinions on the Crown Act?
Starting with.
You got
Anybody?
it.
You got
Go
it.
ahead.
Tahirah?
I didn't hear. Oh, I didn't hear. I'm sorry. It kind of cut out.
Your thoughts on the Crown Act and what Michele was just talking about.
Oh, I mean, she explained it so beautifully. I don't really know if there's anything else left to say after that. My personal thoughts are, I mean, I think it's an amazing act. It's something that needed to be set in place for quite some time. You know, in short, creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, which is the acronym that the Crown Act stands for, I think is beautiful. I used to work in corporate America, and when I first got hired, before I opened my business, I was discriminated against. And in short, hair discrimination is racial discrimination. So you can't talk about one without the other. Unfortunately, you know, people of color are the only people who seem to get the short end of the stick when it comes to our hair and how we should look professionally for a job or for school. You know, when you close that door, it doesn't allow us to even walk through it. So I think this particular act is necessary. I'm happy that it's happening. I hope that Missouri passes it. And I'm happy to be in a position to help people start their journeys to walk into those doors in corporate America, to walk into schools, and be proud of what their hair looks like and be proud of how it looks on their head. We have from children to adults, you know, my clients are lawyers and principals and teachers. So I love seeing locks in different spaces. I think it's a beautiful thing. Those are my thoughts on that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and start my questions. So Kenyatta, how did you get your start at what you are doing? And was it something you picked up, or was it something you learned from someone? And I'm gonna ask everybody around the table. So
I got my start at the age of 16. I come from the umbrella of entrepreneurial parents. My parents were entrepreneurs and they worked for themselves. My mom was still is a licensed cosmetologist of 35 years. And my father, he owned a number of businesses. So when I turned 16, I went to nail school because I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I loved what my parents were doing, their leadership, their their freedom, being able to be creative in their businesses. I knew that was something I wanted to do. So I finished nail school, but I didn't get my license because I was having so much fun in high school. And so I went back to nail school when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I picked up makeup. Well, I started selling cosmetics before I taught myself how to do makeup. So I started selling cosmetics in 2011 because my daughter had this obsession for lip gloss. And of course, I loved everything beauty. So I loved makeup as well. At the time, I was doing makeup for like $10. It was fun. Yeah. It was, it was just something to do. And so when I had got laid off from my corporate job, I decided to well, I asked God, I said, what do you want me to do? I said, because I don't have a job. So I spoke to him, and he spoke to me very clearly. He said, teach yourself something. And so I taught myself how to do makeup. And that was almost 7 years ago. And it's been an amazing ride. I am now at a place where I don't have to do it full time. I love to do it. My cosmetic business is running itself. So I'm just having fun right now. I pick my schedule, and I have my clients that I do, and I'm just super blessed. And I'm in a position now where I'm hiring. I have 4 employees. So I'm just letting my cosmetic business run, and I have people running my store, and I'm just doing makeup when I want to. So I'm just having fun. I've always, dreamed of this moment, and I'm here. So it was something that was instilled in me as a child, to work for yourself,
Right.
and just do everything with passion and work hard and stay consistent. And I have been doing my very best for 9 years. It's been a struggle, but I'm one of those people where I don't give up easy if it's something that I really love and I'm really passionate about it. And I just the people around me support me and encourage me over the 9 years. I couldn't have done it by myself. I give a lot of thanks to my husband, my kids, my family, my friends, and that's why I'm able to be where I'm at now. So
Now, isn't it your husband's birthday?
yes, it's his birthday. And he was okay with me doing. Yeah, he was okay with me doing this. He was like, "Yeah, it's business. It's business." So go ahead.
All right, thank you. And Tahirah, how did you get your start, and what are you doing? And was it something you picked up, or was it something you learned?
I got my start a long time ago. I'm not gonna tell y'all how old I am, but let's see. I was 15. It was my very first job in high school. I went to high school in Barbados, and I got a job in a salon, a lock salon, and I was a wash girl. I loved watching people come into the salon looking one way and then leaving with these big, bright smiles on their faces, just happy with their hair. When you get your hair done, you feel better about yourself, about your day, about everything in your life. And I really wanted to learn. So I trained with the master loctician there. I worked my way up from the wash station to the styling station. She taught me everything that she knew about locks and natural hair. When I moved to Kansas City in 2000 and I think it was 2011, I got my start in corporate America. I worked for the hotel industry, and I just got tired of working for somebody else, telling them that when I want to take time off. So I had always on the back burner, just done hair as like a hobby, something to make extra money. And I really kind of sat down with myself, built a plan, really figured out like I could do this full time if I, applied myself. So I made my business plan. I took a week off from work one time, and I just worked doing hair that entire week. And I realized that I made more money in that week than I did in 2 weeks of getting paid working for the hotel. So, I started in my house. I started in my master bedroom. I really started in my living room. And then I moved up to my master bedroom. Then I moved up to my master bedroom. I was very blessed to have a client who got me a connect with the Location 1 building, which is where we are stationed at right now. It's our home. I've been there for 3 years. It was just me. And now I have 3 other people who are working with me. I don't like to say that I have employees because what I really want to do is build partnerships with women. I want to build partnerships with individuals. I'd love to have a man if anybody's out there and they want to start here and they want to come to me. I want to build partnerships. I want to be a platform. I want people to stand on my shoulders, learn from my mistakes, and build their own, really just build your own freedom. This coming here taught me that I have the freedom to take control of my life and do what I want to do. I want my son to see that. I have a 5-year-old son, and locks was a way for me to take control of my life. Locks was a way for me to help build partnerships with other women and other men in the community, and for me to cycle the Black dollar into the community. So yeah, that's my story.
I love it. I love it. Iron sharpens iron for sure.
Yes, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right, Lussette, same question.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like I've been doing hair for I was always that girl who did everybody's hair. So probably like middle school. Started doing like the spikes and the flips and crimps and all that stuff. So I am showing age now. Yeah, so I always did hair in some capacity. I went to college and was in the dorm room, had my shop set up in the dorm, and you can smell the iron, smell it burning coming down the hall of my dorm room. I was that girl. All hair. And so I had a career in government, had a great I had a great career in corporate America. They both served me very well. Like this thing that I couldn't shake. My situation is a little different because for 10 years, I operated in both spaces. So for 10 years, I worked in corporate America and I had a salon. So I did both things at the same time. And for me, everyone's always like, oh, how did you do that? It wasn't even that hard for me because I never felt like doing hair was this work. It just felt like it was fun. It just felt like it was home. So I would get off work from my full-time job and then I would go to the salon and do another 5-6 hours there. And obviously that's very taxing when you have a family. I'm married. I have a 6-year-old. And my husband's always like, why are you working like you don't have a husband? So I had to literally like make myself stop working at my full-time job because I honestly had career enjoy. So I literally had to force myself to stop doing both things. And so 2 years ago, I left my corporate job to operate my salon full. It's been great. I have a joint team of 7. We're partners. They're not my. They are
Lussette, we it's kind of getting a little choppy.
Choppy. Okay. Wait.
Yeah, just a little bit. But we'll come back. We'll come back.
All right.
Recently, same question. Are you there? Hello. We can't hear Reese Lee.
Yeah. We're having some connection issues. Can you guys hear us? Can you hear us good? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
A little bit.
Mimi?
Yeah, I can.
You want to go to Mimi really quick, and then Reese Lee, we'll come back. We'll come back to you because for some reason, let's see if this works itself out.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna pray that the spirit of Teddy leaves my phone, okay? Because I can hear none of y'all talk. But let's see. I'll try to make this the shortest version that I can. Moved here, went to Clark University, and I got a marketing degree and got out in the real world and got a real job and was like, this can't be life. So I worked in IT and had a good job, but I wasn't happy. And art always was in me. And I knew that I wanted my own business. I didn't know what it was going to be. And at the time I was working for Accenture, I was traveling. I was 22, 23 years old, going to New York and Miami on the weekends. And I would always be the designated makeup artist. And one trip to New York, one of my friends was like, "You're really good. You should do this." And it made sense in my mind. It was something I was passionate about. So I went for it. And when I went for it, I saw the possibilities and I saw how I could turn this into a business. Coming from Kansas City, I love fashion, but I wasn't super glam back then. But moving to Atlanta, it was a whole different world. These girls was dressed to the nines going to the mall, right? So I saw the opportunity and I took it serious. I started practicing my craft, making the right connections, and making a way. When there were no's, I found a way around it and came back in. So one thing that I noticed when I was coming up was it was a very crab in the bucket mentality in the beauty industry. And I was never like that. So I was always thinking about how can I collaborate? How can I grow with somebody else? How can I bring somebody else up? When people were telling me no, okay, I'm not going to be that person. And that's how I've always been in my career. And I think that when you walk into whatever field that you're in, if you have that mindset, you're going to elevate no matter what. So I've gotten the opportunity to work on, TV shows, brand packaging. To now, I feel like I'm in a pivot where I'm trying to pivot out of doing so much makeup. I built a team under me and I'm raising them up, right? And I'm being more of a businesswoman now than a service provider. So I would just say, I know we're not at the point of advice, but I would say, as you navigate through your career, always be open to change and always have faith. There are things that are not going to make sense to you along the way. And there are things that are going to be out of your control, but it's the ones who persevere through and have that level of faith that get over that hump and make it and become millionaires. So I just want to challenge everybody to think that way and think about how you can collaborate, how you can bring somebody else up along the way too.
So, hey man, I love. First of all, I love all of this. This is literally like when we talk about playbooks on how to do certain things, right? Like this is literally writing a playbook on what it takes to live out your dream, right? Not necessarily just a specific thing, right? But how do you decide, like you just said, Mimi, you just said, hey, I decided the American thing wasn't for me and I got to figure this thing out. So we're going to try to get into something else. And you guys, it sounds like a passion because a lot of ladies, a lot of you women on here said, you know what, as you were young, when you were young, you said, hey, this is something that I just I like doing, right? And I want to monetize it. Let's try to figure out a way to make money on something that I like / love doing. So it is definitely truly inspiring to hear all of you guys' stories. I mean, this is awesome. I think who you got, Shayla?
Yep. Can y'all hear us clearly?
I can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay, good.
Now, can you guys hear me? Because I know I was having some issues.
Yes.
We got you now. We got you.
Okay. Okay. So if you could real quick just refresh me on the topic.
So Sharon was just basically saying, was it something? How did you get your start? How did you get your start? Was it something that you already were into, or was it somebody that just kind of brought you in and taught you how to do this, and you decided I'm gonna take it from here?
Okay, yeah. So I got my start in the beauty industry early on. Like I knew as a child that this is the industry I wanted to be in. So in high school, I knew freshman year when I realized our school had a vocational school attached to it, that senior year I was gonna take the full year cosmetology program. So I did that my senior year of high school. I started with hair. Had no passion for makeup. I did not want to do makeup. I was glad it was our shortest section that we had, like, because it just was not a passion of mine. I went on to college where, like Lucette was saying, I was in my dorm room braiding people up, doing hairstyles. And it wasn't until years later that I discovered makeup. So I'm a self-taught makeup artist. Never would have saw myself doing makeup. I was actually a tomboy, and just the femininity of makeup just is something I never saw coming from myself. But I started doing it on myself, and then my friends took notice, and they wanted me to do theirs, and then their friends, and it just kind of snowballed. And at one point I was just like, I was actually, Tahirah was like she was my first celebrity client. I call it that. But I was just like, let me just see if I do this full time. Like at that point I was working 40 to 60 hours for an insurance company. I was like, let me just see if I do this for myself, like what I can make of it. And I didn't have a background of like a family of entrepreneurs. Like I'm kind of like the black sheep taking that leap. So people were kind of like, you think you're going to be a full-time makeup artist in Kansas City? Like, how? And I just took the leap, and I've made it work. Like, I've been fortunate to have really great relationships with people. It was actually Mimi who gave me my first celebrity client with Claire Somers when she brought her into town. So, like, it's just relationship building and connections, and here we are. I'm 2 years in. I just closed out like my best month in my business in August. So it's a journey.
We love that. Michele, you are right here. I know we're talking beauty industry and what got them started and whatnot, but we still can ask you the same question. Like, what drove you to get into politics and to kind of dive into consulting and all the things that you do, and obviously with Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet, like what's your driving force behind that, and what got you started?
That's a great question. Like many of the women on this panel, I am a tomboy at heart always haven't had a love of makeup, but was a tomboy at heart. And when I graduated from high school, I became a carpenter with the Carpenters Union. And I was not the woman on the street holding the sign. I know how to work a hammer and a circular saw, and I have worked on some of the biggest projects here in Kansas City. Was asked to lead construction crews about 5 years in, and decided that wasn't the best use of my time and talent. Although it was a great field, it was a great industry. It's a great way to make money without going to college, as is cosmetology and other trades. It just wasn't the best use of my God-given talents. And so I finally went to college for communications. Fast forward, worked for my first government official, who was Jason Cantor, the Secretary of State. I wasn't blessed with an early vision for what I should be doing. It has been essentially following God's footsteps and seeing where they lead, and being trustful and faithful of the journey he's put me on. Because to go from a carpenter to working on political campaigns, I worked for Jason Cantor when he was in the Secretary of State's office, where you go to get your business license. Worked for Bernie Sanders in 2016 when he was running for president as a national political director, and came back home to Missouri and worked for Chris Koster, who was running for governor. The spark to start Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet happened for me in 2016. I worked for Bernie Sanders, who was as far as what we call liberal on the spectrum as you could get, and Chris Koster, who was a former Republican. I worked both ends of the spectrum in senior capacities, and found that no matter who I worked for, Black women and Black voters and Black people were afterthought. Our voice wasn't at the table. Major decisions were being made on our behalf, and no one was thinking of us. And it was that frustration that I felt, anger and dismissiveness, that shook me into starting Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet. Because while we were being dismissed, Black women and Black men, but Black women are the highest voting bloc in the entire nation. Black women volunteer, give money, run for office at rates higher than anyone else, but our issues are never addressed. So that's why I started Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet. But entrepreneurship, even just the characteristics of entrepreneurship. In construction, you have highs and you have lows. You have times when you have work, and you have times when you're laid off. Those characteristics and the skills that I learned from that prepare me to be a consultant and to do political advocacy and communications through my firm, the Grio Group. Those connections from construction are connections that I use today to advance issues through the GRIO group. Nothing on my journey, although it's been varied, has been for naught, because everything has circled back to help me develop a network, to help me develop the tough skin needed to cuss people out if necessary or get with folks. I learned that in construction. What I learned in communications when I went to school for communications is how to better tell our stories and raise the voices of others. I lived abroad and went to school in Holland, and what I learned there is how sometimes we're dismissed and we are our best advocates for ourselves, because again, we're the only ones in the room. So while my journey hasn't been a straightforward arrow, everything I've done along this path has prepared me for this. And I leave it to God's hands, and I try to be obedient to what he tells me are my next steps. And for now, Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet and helping Black women advocate for themselves is it.
So, I know you probably get this question all the time, but so when do you have any plans to run for office or anything like that? I know you get this question. I had to ask it just because I know that's the low-hanging fruit here. So.
I always get that question. The answer is always no. You got to be a special personality to run for office. But Black women have the skills to do that, though. We are not afraid to say what's on our minds. We are not afraid to do the work, the homework, to learn, to get with folks if need be. Those are the skills that you need to advance policy. We just don't often get the chance to do that. But you're, again, seeing more Black women and Black men even step up to the plate and say, no, I'm just as qualified with whatever education level I bring. There are members of Congress who are not college educated. There are people running for office who are not college educated, who come from the trades, who have different backgrounds. And those are the voices that we need representing us when they're making decisions on our behalf. Us, people from the community, people who know the struggle. So that could be anybody on this panel but me. I'll help you get elected. But
right. Okay. Lucette, let's see if our audio is working to see if we can finish your piece, because we want to definitely get you and then Mimi Reese to make sure you guys are able to really tell your story. So let's see if we can we tap back in? How's it sound?
I mean, you sound good. I don't know what it sound like. It might be on my end. I'm trying to like freeze the same spot.
Yeah.
I think this spot is working.
A little bit, absolutely. It's better. We can hear you clear now.
Okay. So I don't really know where I left off. So I might repeat stuff. So yeah, like I was saying, I worked a corporate career for 10 years while operating my salon at the same time. And a lot of people think that was the crazy route, but it worked for me. It gave me so much freedom to not feel like I had to struggle through entrepreneurship. I never had to. And so it was a calculated move for me. It was, let me have something stable so that I can build my business the way I want to, and I can focus on it how I wanted to. So I probably should have got out maybe 5 years in, but I learned so much from my corporate career that I felt like I could take to my business. I learned sales, I learned compliance, I learned all kinds of financials. My background is in finance, and I also have a master's in business. So I knew I learned in school, big picture wise, how to run a big corporation. But people don't tell you it's different when you're running a super small business, a micro. Everything is different. You don't have an R&D. You don't have a marketing team. You don't have, a finance team. It's you. You're the team. And so for me, it was the right choice. But like I said, 2 years ago, I decided that I was gonna go full time, and pretty much was able to do everything I wanted to do with my business. And now I'm working on building the business. And I started teaching the business of cosmetology, the business, because a lot of people know how to. They know how to do hair. They know how to do makeup. They know how to do a lot of stuff, but they don't know how to maintain all the money that they're bringing in. So I felt like it was my way of giving back to the school that I went to kind of bring my knowledge, the financial realm, to them. So that's why I started doing that. But I think I'm echoing again.
No, it sounds good. It sounds good right now.
That's dope.
Okay.
Dope.
So yeah, so I love being in the hair industry. Like I said, it was this thing I couldn't shake. You know, I did everything. I could have went on to do different stuff, but I couldn't shake my passion for hair. I couldn't shake my passion for just, I'm a girl's girl. I connect to a lot of women, and I love the environment where I work with women. In our team, everybody have their own thing. Everybody have their their own brand, their own everything. We come together and with our passion for hair and the art of hair, we come together and do our thing together. But we feel every single is in the salon have their mission, their own goal, and everything else. So I like being in business with these business women. So I'm actually in business with a lot of different women. That's my favorite part in the industry.
That's dope.
I think so. So Lucette, you do a lot of gyms out there, and I just want to piggyback off of one of them because there's a lot of folks that have this. We talk about this imposter syndrome thing, where a lot of folks feel like you have to be a certain way or do a certain thing a certain type of way, and if you don't do it that way, then you're not what you say you are. You're not a business owner if you're working a full-time job too, right? Because now it's just a side hustle. That's not true,
right?
You're still an entrepreneur. You're still a business owner. You're just trying to do it the way that you know best to do it. And so I appreciate you saying that.
Yep.
It means a lot. Reese Lee, let's see if are you there? Can we hear you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
You can hear me now?
It sounds good.
Okay. Okay, great. So my journey was a little bit different. I was not a girly girl growing up. My dad raised 5 girls, and he wanted to be independent where we didn't have to depend on no man. And so, growing up, I wanted to be a respiratory therapist. And so I had went to school for about 2.5 years. I had to go all the way up to get my CRT to get my license. There was one particular class that I had taken it twice. The first time I failed it completely, and then the second time I missed about 7 points. But the program director was saying that it was still a fail and that he would have to kick me out the program and things like that. And so I ended up taking 2 years off. During those 2 years, my mom ended up getting sick, and I also was doing, was starting to do makeup and things like that. And a friend of mine helped up a boutique down on Westport. Her name was Anisha, and she was like, "Reese, you do really good makeup on yourself. Why don't you do the makeup for my fashion show?" I was like, "Are you serious?" I've never did any makeup anybody else, just myself. And she was like, definitely, serious about you doing it. So I said, okay, I'll do it. Ended up going on Amazon and buying a lot of makeup and things like that. And I was doing the makeup, and one of the ladies was like, have you ever thought about doing it full time? And I was like, no, not really. I've only done it myself. And so she was like, I definitely think that you should look into it. And I was like, okay. And I ended up being huge at eyebrows. Eyebrows was my thing. And so just like Twist said, I was at home waxing eyebrows, and people were coming over. I was waxing their eyebrows, doing the makeup and things like that. And I think it was Tiffany Stewart who said, you should come out with your own eyebrow line. And I was just like, I'm gonna look into it and see who's who and who's really doing eyebrows out here, out here in the U.S. And so I had came across Damone Roberts, and I was looking on, looking on his page and things like that. And I came across his website. I saw he was offering a class out in Chicago. The class was $500, and it was an 8-hour course. I went to Chicago, met Damone Roberts. He complimented me on my eyebrows and was just like, "Oh, look so good." And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" He talked about my eyebrows. And then he was like, but let me add something to it. And I said, okay. And so he added, you know, a little bit of his product. And he's like, what do you think about that? And I was like, I think it looks really good. And he ended up having like a after party like on the rooftop of the where the seminar was. And he came to me and he was like, you need to go get your esthetician license. And he was like, if you go get your esthetician license, if you ever move to California, you have a job in my salon. And I was like, no way. I was like, you kidding me? And he was like, no, I'm dead serious. He was like, there's something about you, something that's very special and unique about you. And he was like, I really want you to go and get your esthetician license. And so when I got to the hotel, I looked up esthetician schools, found one that I just loved, and that was the Academy of Aesthetics over in China, Kansas. The next, like as soon as I got to the city, like the next day I went and applied. And that's how it took off. Like I went and applied, was doing makeup at the school, got my esthetician license, and I had worked with someone, ended up going to New York, doing New York Fashion Week, doing makeup up there. And from there, then came back and opened up the powder room. And the powder room's been open for about like 5 years. And it's been the best thing, the best ride I've ever had in my life. Especially like having my sisters behind me who support me so much, and my family, which come from my entrepreneur family, my grandma who used to do all of my grandpa's business. And, you know, also from there, you know, having jobs off of Instagram, just, you know, having that, being able to market yourself, being consistent with your work, always posting your pictures, you know, letting people know like what you're doing and things like that. And I remember getting an email, because I know we all get emails from clients and agencies saying like, hey, I saw your work and I want to book you for, you know, a celebrity or things like that. And that happened to me. And I was, at first I thought like, oh, this would be a scam because we get so many scams, you know, coming through the emails. And so it actually wasn't a scam. It actually was Deborah Cox wanted to book me to do her makeup when he came here for the bodyguard. And I was like, wow, like how to get my information, you know, but all in all, you know what I'm saying, it was someone who was following me on Instagram who gave my information, and that's how they contacted me. I remember even when I worked with Mimi, and she had contacted me about, you know, assisting her with a wedding, and I was like, oh my God, this is Mimi. And she's from Kansas City, and she's exactly where like I want to go, and that was amazing. And I feel like those relationships and those people that you meet along the way of your journey, like you want to make sure that you always like just keep, you know what I'm saying, keep that good repertoire, you know what I'm saying, with the people that you meet, and you know, on time, and you know, not doing too much, but just doing enough. You know what I'm saying? When you're leaving a impression. And I remember when Pippi opened her agency, and I went to casting for her for the agency to make artists, and it was the first agency that I worked with. And I want to say, and leading up to now, I'm at a point where like that's where I'm headed. You know, since to work with the agency and getting booked for different gigs, it's like as I can see.
Sorry, it's on mute. So I'm trying to make sure that we get the sound right? So we mute ourselves and all that stuff. Man, I mean, inspiring. And I guess a theme that I've been hearing throughout the whole conversation that we've had so far is the importance of working together, right? Of connections and making sure that if you have somebody, you pull somebody else up to share what you have, and I think that's a phenomenal thing. Go ahead, Sharon. You got something?
Yeah. So me, long time Lincoln College Prep alumni.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I'm gonna say what year, but makeup for some big stars. What sets the bar for you, and how do you influence a woman to beautify themselves with your techniques and skills?
Ooh, that's special.
Yeah, I look at that as two different questions, right? So I think the first part of that is setting that bar, right? And I think that a lot of people, and I'm speaking for, I guess it can be in any craft, right? I think a lot of people get caught into the technique, right? They want to be the best of the best makeup artist and the best hairstylist or whatever your craft is, that a lot of times they forget the most important side, and that's you being a business person and you actually just being a dope ass person. I'm sorry, I'm cussing. A dope person, right? I would say that you want to be good at your craft. That's what carries you, right? That might get you noticed. That might carry you, but it's you being a good person, you being a team player, you knowing your position when you're on set that gets you that next step. Every big opportunity that I've ever had has been through somebody else that I've connected with, right? Every single thing that has been big has been someone else tapping into me. And I did a lot of sweat equity. And I feel like that sweat equity has gone out the door with generation that's out right now, right? I feel like a lot of people think, oh, I can do this in 60 days because Instagram said it. And it's really not like that. It's really about honing in and being a good person on top of being that good artist or that good salesperson or that good designer. So that's number one. I think that's what carries it. People connect with you. And as a business, right? People invest in people and not businesses. Some people just invest straight off of you selling yourself. Not the business needs to make sense, but a lot of times people just invest in you because I have a personal investment in you. So I just want to say that would set a standard and a tone. When people know that they book me, they know that I am going to always be on time. I'm always going to be professional. I'm not going to be on the phone. I'm not, doing all those extra things. The attention is on that person. So that's setting a standard. And anybody that works under me, like if I'm not free, they know whoever I refer is a reflection of me. The other side of that, you said teaching women to enhance and appreciate their own beauty. Artistry is subjective, right? People gravitate to what they gravitate towards, but my purpose, what really made me fall in love with makeup was I was never that glamour person. It was just art. In the beginning, it was just art. But when I had the person that sat in my chair and looked in the mirror and cried, that did something for me. That let me know what I was doing had purpose outside of vanity. Because in the beginning, for me, it was like, okay, this is another side of vanity. You know what I mean? But once I had that person sit in my chair and say, I've never felt so beautiful, or like a guy that sits in the barbershop, when y'all get y'all haircut, you're a different man when you get up, right? It gives you another level of confidence. So when I saw that type of purpose in what I was doing, it elevated me. So that has always been my thing with whoever sits in my chair. You listen to them, you listen to what their wants are, what their insecurities are, but you also, it's your job to find what is already naturally beautiful in that person and enhance that and let them know. When you give, you can be a makeup artist, but it's that extra mile. Like they didn't pay you for a lesson, but if you're walking them through it and say, you know what, your cheekbones are really great. If you use XYZ and just do this, you don't even need a whole bunch of makeup. And they say, nobody's ever told me that. And I've sit in a million makeup chairs. Those are the little things that take you over the top and make people loyal to you. So I would just say finding purpose in what you're doing. And that's what I did when I was doing makeup. And I think that created my style, right? The people that gravitated towards me, they knew they weren't going to get the drag beat. They knew that they were going to look beautiful, but still look like themselves.
Whoa, I love that.
I'm flying to Atlanta for an appointment.
Come on, girl. I'm waiting.
There you go. You got what you got, Shirley.
So, another question. Reese Lee and Shayla, you are lead makeup artist here in Kansas City. Do you see a change in how you're doing makeup? Does it take longer, or is there a shortage in products right now?
Can you hear me? Are you guys able to hear me? Okay, good. Yeah, I do see, after COVID, I do see that it takes me a little bit longer to complete a look. I've always been a sanitation junkie anyway, but now I just want to go that extra mile to make sure that everything is clean, that I'm not the cause of the spread of the virus. So it's taking me a bit longer to complete jobs, just being more cautious and more aware. And I see that, I mean, that's going to be an ongoing thing. Like, even once COVID is cleared, like, I still want to maintain that same type of standard. So yeah, there's going to be additional time on my application process. I'm at a place now where, like, I don't want to take 8 or 9 people a day. Like, my limit is probably on a good day 4 people, like, because it's taxing to have that stress in the back of your mind about the virus. So yeah, it's changed the way I do things for sure.
All right. Same question to Reese.
So, can you hear me? Am I on?
Yes. Yep.
But okay. It does take me longer. What I started doing, I sent out an email to all my clients, let them know, like, as far as, like, when they do, come to their appointment to wait, or to wait in the lobby, and have their mask on. I also would text them to know, like, I will come to the door to let them to come in, and also, sanitizing, after, each kind as well, and sanitizing my brushes and things like that. Just because that is something that we learned in school, that sanitation, that was like almost like 60 or 80% of, like, your grade, when you were going to just get your license. So definitely that was a huge for that. And then as far as product-wise, is there a shortage? I would say it's not really a shortage, but it's just having to buy online now, then instead of just going to the store and just picking it up and grabbing it or being tested, because now they have where you're not able to test anything due to the whole COVID, and you just kind of gotta just go with your instinct or see as far as from your eye and say, okay, I think this would be a great product to use on my clients, things like that. And then even me going to clients and doing their makeup, like, at their home, I kind of stopped doing that during the whole, like, COVID thing. I was like, okay, well, y'all gonna have to come, inside. I'm so sorry, you know what I'm saying, that I have to kind of put that on pause. But just then, like, hey, you have to come inside and out during these times. So.
All right. That's dope. That's dope. So, Kenyatta, what was it like before COVID, and how did you pivot during the COVID period? And this is going to be the last question. This is going to be for everybody.
Before COVID, we were pretty busy. Clients were coming in. People were still coming in to buy products. When COVID shut down, when COVID came, we had to shut down, which allowed me to remodel my shop. So I was still kind of working behind the scenes, getting my shop together. But once we were able to open, it's like they had been waiting to get makeup. Like, it still was just like a big rush. Like, everybody still wanted makeup. I know it wasn't, I wasn't as booked as I normally would be. Like Shayla said, she don't want to do 8 or 9 people no more a day. Same for me. I purposely would close out my books, and I would only work for certain hours, do like 4 or 5 hours. But makeup picked up as if COVID, like, they were just waiting for COVID to be over to come get makeup. Another thing that I did, I cut back on my time. So I wasn't taking my time with my clients. I wasn't allowing them to come for 45 minutes or an hour. I only had slots open for like supernatural beats, 30 minutes or less, because I'm a person where I want to get my clients in and out and they're going to be satisfied. And so I cut back on my time, and I wasn't overly booked, but makeup picked back up immediately. We do a walk-in special on Fridays for $35 between the hours of 12 and 6. And it was always packed. And so people still wanted makeup. And so, of course, we took.
What day of the week again was that? And then from what time to what time? What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
Okay, we do a walk-in special for makeup, a full face of makeup for $35 every Friday from 12 to 6 at the Pink Lips Cosmetics Store. Yes, Mimi, yes, we are doing it. I know your eyes raised up, but we do it because we like to cater to those makeup lovers who really just can't afford $65. And so we like to give them a chance to come in and get the full experience at a cheaper price. And so it is a staple that we do. Our clients, our customers, they love it. And so that once we were able to open, they were still coming. And it was like, oh my God, y'all still on makeup. And of course we took the proper sanitary precautions. Everybody had to wear a mask. Everybody signed a form. Hand sanitizer was going around. We was checking temperatures. And we were just, grateful to be back. We could not wait to be back. Once we got back, we was like, oh my God, maybe we need another break because it was still just so many people wanted makeup. It was surprising. But for me, I cut back my hours. I cut back my time limit on each client. And we just been doing it.
So Tahirah, the same question. What was you doing before COVID, post-COVID, and then after COVID?
Before COVID, I want to say circle back to something that you said at the very beginning of the stream, which is the hair and beauty industry is a $500 billion industry. And most of our businesses constantly have an influx of clients that are wanting to get services from us. So I'm grateful and blessed to have been requested as a business before COVID. Now, when the shutdown happened, I was shook. I definitely was, because I was not prepared. Now, thankfully, working in corporate America, especially working in the hotel industry, you learn to plan for a rainy day. So thankful to my job before I became an entrepreneur full time, I understood how to plan, save, project things, predict things that might happen in the future. So our business was okay despite us being closed for 3 months. And we waited a little bit longer, even after they opened the city, to start back, because we wanted to make sure that we would take the necessary precautions. We had preventative measures into play. Our productivity level really kind of took a dip, and the downtime allowed me as a business owner and then as an employee to my own business, really to take a different approach. We could not do more so of an in-person approach. So we started working on another stream of income, which was that digital approach. Everybody is at home. Everybody is on social media. Everybody is on their phones all day. So we wanted to take a look at a digital approach. So it helped me to sharpen myself as a business owner in another area that I felt like I was not strong in. Most of my strength was in in-person interaction and servicing. So now we have been able to kind of dominate our digital world. So we are better at our social media, better our response times. We created a website. I've been able to, even through this pandemic, I've been able to hire another stylist to be able to keep up with the demand from our clients. So we were in a really good position before COVID, and even after COVID, I have to say I'm blessed and I'm thankful to all of our clients. We are in an even better position. We're looking into expanding and getting a second location because of the demand. So I'm grateful, but we're taking our time and we're learning as we go, because I feel like it's on the job training, as they say. you can't really prepare on the job training. So we're taking our time. We put every preventative measure that we can into play. Our stylists are well trained. Most of them are licensed. So when you come into the salon, you can expect great service. I try to duplicate myself in the people that we hire. So I feel like we're doing well, and I feel like we're going to be doing even better even after COVID. And because of COVID, I think it's put us in a better mindset to prepare for something like this that might happen in the future.
No, thank you. Lussette, same question.
Okay, so COVID had me shook. Okay. So just imagine the best part about having your own business is never having to worry about being laid off. Okay. And so that was one of the positives, like, oh, I don't have to worry about being laid off. I'll work for myself. Well, everybody got laid off because essentially we all got laid off because we could not go to work. So my doors were not physically open. So lucky for me, I operate fairly small. And so I operate, my expenses are fairly low and I operate fairly small. And my husband is insane at budgeting. He is crazy at budgeting, and he helps me with my budgeting and my books and stuff. So there was really no way to fully be prepared. And I always tell my students, okay, when you are operating a business, make sure you have 6 months of your expenses, 6 months of capital, stashed away, ready to go. Well, that works great when you have 6 months of capital and then you're still operating and money is still coming in. And that 6 months is for rainy days. But when you're completely shut down and you have to dip into that, it looks different. And then if you count on that as your income, it looks different. So not only do you have to worry about 6 months of expenses, but really 6 months of your income for your payroll. And a lot of people, sometimes don't separate the two, and it's just a difficult situation to be in. But I think it was a lesson learned. And thank God I was prepared, not as prepared that, I could have been, because no way to really predict that. But it was kind of a smooth time for me. I enjoyed having the time off. The biggest problem was coming back. I was a wreck. I'm not gonna lie. I was so freaked out about the whole thing. I was going insane in here because you don't want to be the place that, oh, that's where I got it from. So I mean, I was separating stations. I have shields. We have mask requirements. We have sanitizing stations right outside. I also had to split the team a little bit because we didn't want to be all being here at the same time. So we didn't want to be fully in operation and all the girls are working and each person have someone in their chair and all that is happening in this space. So, you have to be mindful that this is other people's businesses too. It's not just my business, it's their business too. So we had to kind of figure it out pretty fast, how to separate it and make it work, stagger schedules, take one client at a time, space between clients to sanitize, to clean the shop and all that stuff. It's just completely different now. And it's not back to normal yet. It's not back to normal. My average is different. I'm not getting as many people in on purpose because I want to be able to clean up, make sure I'm safe. And like Shayla said, you get that anxiety, like, oh my God, I've touched 9 people today. Like, that is just crazy. Like, it messes my mind up really, really bad. And I go home and I'm like, oh my God, okay, let me get these clothes off. Let me wash my hands. Let me do. So it's just, I didn't know that I would be a little fearful of what's happening, but I was. I didn't know that I was going to have anxiety, and I did. And so it's been quite a transition for me. As a business, we're back rolling. It's going to take a while to get back to normal, but I think everyone in here is starting to, okay, we're getting in a groove. This is good. This is working. And so it was 2 parts. The financial part, not being able to open, and you just never think about that because you never think that you're going to be closed. And then coming back, just readjusting to everything. And that's just a difficult readjustment, but we're doing it. We're still operating, and I think everyone is feeling better. I'm not freaking out as much when I go home. I'm not like going crazy as much as I used to. I think we're getting back to normal, but it's gonna take a while, and I'm sure all business owners are feeling the same. Like, okay, let's figure out how to get back to normal. So I think that's where I am right now on that whole trying to figure out how to get back to normal.
Thank you. And tell Marcus Walker, your husband, I said what's up. He's another Lincoln Alumni.
All right, will do. I think he's in the comments.
Michele?
That's what he said.
That way.
Okay. Can y'all hear me? I've been muting myself so that I don't add to the feedback. Yeah. For me as a advocacy and communications consultant on the Grill Group side, a lot of my clients are nonprofit and advocacy orgs. And so when COVID took place, everybody went into high gear to try and fight against all of the messed up stuff that's come out of and been a result of the pandemic as it relates to people of color, women, Black people. So I got busy on that side of things. But the Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet side was busy too. Pre-COVID, we had been working with lawmakers in Kansas, Senator Aletha Foster-Doe, and Missouri, Representative Barbara Ann Washington, to get the Crown Act passed. We worked on that this year, starting in January 2020. But when COVID came, a lot of the legislatures and the government bodies shut down. They weren't looking at laws anymore. They weren't trying to pass stuff. So it essentially made it hard for us to continue to advocate if legislators aren't coming to the Capitol to get these things passed. Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet, we work to wield the collective power of Black women. So we try to find opportunities to bring together Black women from all backgrounds and experiences whenever we can to get things pushed. We have training and education opportunities. We try to get Black women a seat at the decision-making table, but a lot of that work was in person. So when COVID hit, we had to figure out how do we reach Black women, no matter where they are or where they're from, through digital means. And how do we continue to fight for the issues that are important to Black women as it relates to economic prosperity and wealth building, healthcare, education, the eradication of violence? How do we continue to fight for those issues when they have also exploded because of COVID, because who's in the White House, because who our state legislators are? COVID has hit the Black community the hardest. We are 50, we represent 50% of the COVID cases in Kansas City. Black mothers who are having to go to the hospital to have babies can't have people in the room with them when they go to have babies. And Black women are already having issues with Black maternal health and mortality. You don't have an advocate in the room when you're going through probably one of the most stressful physical things you can go through at a hospital. Our kids are not in school. What does it mean if a parent doesn't have access to technical means? How can they ensure that their kid is still getting educated? How do we deal with all the social upheaval that surrounds Black Lives Matter and police brutality? Violence that Black women are facing because they're stuck in the house against, those that, say they love them. COVID raised so many issues. And so it's forced us to kind of take a step to think about the best way to approach it and what are the things we should be striving to push during this time. So we are going to work to help get Black women out to vote in November, on November 3rd, because it's important that we have a voice what happens in upcoming elections, and not just at the presidential level, but at the state level and at the local level. When we think about Operation Legend and the FBI coming into our state, that decision was made by the governor's office. When we think about the mandates to wear masks, whatever side you're on, that decision was made by our mayor at the city level. Decisions to provide PPP and CARES Act funding was made by our congressman, Emmanuel Cleaver. So all of these roles, all of these elected roles of leadership have an impact on our daily lives. Whether your kid is going to school or not, that was a decision made by your school board. That's an election you can have a say in who represents us. So we'll be working to make sure Black women get out to vote. And then we'll be working on the Crown Act. We are currently building a coalition of nonprofit organizations, advocates. We're going to be reaching out to all the salon owners, all y'all on this live. you'll be hearing from me as we work to corral as many professionals, leaders, community leaders, moms and daughters and sons who have ever been discriminated against based on their hair. We want to bring those folks together to see if we can get the Crown Act passed here in Kansas City, Missouri. So that's what we'll be working on post-COVID, because even though we stuck in the house, these issues continue to march on. They still continue to be a problem, and we still got to make sure our voices are heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it for sure. It's necessary.
It is.
Who's next?
Reese Lee.
Reese Lee.
Hi. So before COVID, I was taking a business class with Crystal Wright. She's like a mentor coach to get artists unstuck and get to like that next level, being signed with the agency and things like that. So I was working with her before COVID, and during the time I was putting together a lot of test shoots with models, photographers, other makeup artists, and other creators. And when COVID had hit, that was like my first time saying no to a client, and it was really hard for me to say no, because I never said no. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person that will be over backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like for my client or just anybody, and to say I'm sorry, no, I can't do your makeup, or no, I can't. At this time, that was really hard for me, and I actually cried about that, because you don't ever want to tell someone no when it's something that you love to do and it's a passion that you have, and to sit there and be like, okay, like now I can't do it for a couple months, like, you know, okay, I have to do other things. So I was able to take a lot of training courses. There were a lot of people that go live, especially like during the makeup things, like producers and such. And I just took a lot of time out just for myself, to think about business, things that I want to incorporate, things that probably didn't no longer need to, you know what I'm saying, be there. I needed to probably move it out of the way. Spoke with Shayla and, you know, talked to her about agencies, and she gave me some information, and I was able to apply to that agency, and they loved my portfolio and they signed me. Then when we got back, you know what I'm saying, and kind of, you know, make it to the salon when COVID was over, I also had to move a lot of weddings. And I love weddings, and to have to clients had to, you know, backdate the wedding or things like that, and that was kind of hard as well. But during that time, even coming out of COVID, like I said, I did an agency that is based in Chicago and Wisconsin, and right now they have me on hold, you know, even after COVID, because they're saying that they're not wanting to fly any artists out. You know, saying they're only wanting to hire artists that are just in that city, in Atlanta or Chicago, Wisconsin. Like, and those only book those artists there. So that also kind of hard for me as well, because I'm used to traveling to different cities and doing makeup and things like that. But coming back from COVID, being able to, you know, be a nominee for the Kansas City People Choice Awards and a finalist for all three categories, that, you know, esthetician, waxing, facials, and then makeup, and then not even thinking that I'm even like going to win, you know what I'm saying? Then being able to see her name, you know what I'm saying, up there on the stage, like, my God, it's like, y'all playing with the kid. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was amazing. And then also to be able to offer my supporters, my clients, 30% off, you know what I'm saying, to let them know, like, I appreciate them and I love them so much, and for supporting me all these years, that means everything to me. So.
Man, that's dope. Congratulations, too. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Mimi?
Yeah, so I'll be completely transparent. I was stressed before COVID. I was overworking myself. I was feeling like I'm doing all these things for what? You know what I mean? I've taught myself to be a machine in a way. And I think it was natural for me, right? I started getting guilt, like I have a son who's special needs, and I'm like, yo, I gotta free up more of my time, and I don't have any self-care for myself. Like I was at that point to where I almost wasn't going to, but I felt like quitting before COVID. And I said to myself before that, I really got to get whatever I'm trying to do. I was praying about it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of sadness, darkness, all the bad things that came with the pandemic and the racial injustices and all of that, those are horrible things, and it left a heaviness. But I have to be honest, I've never slept so much. I've never gotten so much like that. I was sad in the beginning, and I lost the glamatory. I lost my physical brick and mortar. And I cried, I was depressed. I internalized things, and I didn't tell anybody for a long time. And I've always had faith though, and I knew that it was gonna work out like it always does. And it was a lesson to learn how to let things go. A lot of times we hold on to what we think is success and what we think we should be doing, and our plan that we had set out in our journals and our planners and our vision boards, right? And it's not God's plan sometimes. And you got to just stop being stubborn and pray about it and listen and keep that faith, that level of faith that I said earlier that gets you to that next level of success. So once I had my pity party was over, I moved out in May, and I didn't announce it until July. I announced it publicly in July, 2 months later. And when I did it, I just felt a big release off of my shoulders. And I really didn't understand the impact of what I did had on so many people. So many people were looking at me saying, just you doing that showed me that I could do this, or just you doing that, you gave me an opportunity. So that feeling that I had before of, was I doing everything in vain? It wasn't, it had purpose. And closing that has allowed me to expand my makeup line. Business never really stopped. I just chose to say no, because I felt like that pivot was happening, and it was forceful. The pivot that probably should have happened before, but I was being stubborn in my ways of doing it my way. God made things happen in a sequence that was his way. So that was my big lesson with COVID, and I'm pretty sure that you all can relate. And you feel that kind of pressure to succeed and do this, and you're on Instagram and you see all of these other people posting success, and it wears on you. Social media can really wear on you. So I'm at a very good place. I'm homeschooling my kid in the morning, and which is crazy. But I'm homeschooling my kid in the morning, and I'm expanding the line. There's some things I can't release right now, but some of the money that I had to use to break a lease came back 3 times. So I just give honor and glory to God, and every woman, everybody that's on this call, I'm not a minister or nothing like that, but it is a testimony of just keeping faith. You have to, this is not for the faint at heart. Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint at heart. There is no perfect steps, sequential steps to doing it. It is really just doing and doing it with faith, because there are times that only faith can get you through. So I'm at a great space now. I can't say that I did win a grant from Hello Alice. And I'm just really excited for the things that are coming now that I'm out of my way. So I'm excited.
Thank you for telling us.
I love that be still advice. You get caught up in this and this and this, and even in the midst of craziness, you're still trying to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. But like you said, just that being still for a moment, and really letting God talk to you, it just puts things into perspective. So that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And congratulations on that grant. We like grants. Grants are good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Shayla?
Let me unmute myself. Okay. So my pivot actually started before COVID. Mine started in November of last year. My kid was stolen. So I lost everything. So I was already there at a point of like, do I continue with this? Is this something I can do? Like, should I get a job? Like, how do I replace and replenish like my livelihood? Like, I just lost everything. So that's where it started for me. I was fortunate enough to see that I have a strong network, and people came and supported me and helped me. And so I was able to replenish my kid. I was back to work in like 2 weeks. So that was beautiful. And then like Mimi said, I had these plans. I got this vision board. Like 2020 is my year. Like I'm getting out of Kansas City. I'm about to sign with the talent agency. I'm gonna be like city to city. Like this is my year. And then COVID hit. So COVID hit around the same time that I was meeting with the talent agency in Chicago and determining whether or not I was gonna sign. And they did offer me an opportunity, and I declined. Not really declined. I put it on pause just because I wanted to see like what travel was gonna be like this year. So that was a pivot. Like, dang, okay, everything I had on my vision board that was coming to fruition, like I gotta pause because of COVID. And then we couple that with the shutdown. Like I can't even work in my city, let alone travel. Like I can't work here. And this is my full time. Like this ain't something I just do, after my 9 to 5. So like everybody else said, I was shook. Like I think I spent the first 2 weeks in depression, like snapping on people. People were like asking me like, so what's next? And I'm like, don't ask me that I'm grieving. Like, how dare you? And then after that, it's just like, okay, we got to put our big girl pants on and figure it out. So I joined some networking groups with some entrepreneur women who were doing digital products. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to launch some e-courses or digital content and just pivot that way. But fortunately for me, like my pivot came into fruition on its own. It's not necessarily what I saw for myself, but not to get woo-woo or spiritual, that's just, I guess, God's plan for me. Which is now I'm working with women who are pivoting themselves and starting brands. And so I'm working with women for longer periods of time, or even men, instead of like, having to book like 30, 40 people to make my number for the month. I'm just working, I'm selling my days. So it's like, hey, you can book me for the whole day. We can roll out all your content for the month. And so that's my lane, and that's what's been keeping me afloat. That doing commercial work, doing ads, that it led into that. That's not where I saw myself going, but that's the lane that I'm in right now. And I'm fortunate, like it worked out for me. I had a really good month last month. I'm hoping to continue that. So my pivot was finding women who are pivoting, or men who are pivoting, who need, to push out their content and need me for the whole day. So if you need me for the whole day, you can book me too. www.shaylanash.com. Yeah, I sell 1 hour, half day.
Hey, I saw when you said that, I saw Michele perk up a little bit. So I'm just letting you know.
Come through, Michele. Come on, come see me.
I'm gonna have to see all y'all.
Just wanted to, point out the obvious to me.
All right. So everybody, tell us, how can we reach you? How can we reach your social media? Start with Kenyatta.
Okay, you can find me, first of all, on my website, www.pinklipscosmetics.com. My social media on my Instagram social media, Pink Lips Cosmetics, at Pink Lips Cosmetics, and at Pink Lips Cosmetics Store, and at KS Gant. My cosmetic store is 1112 East 47 Terrace, 64110. Email customercare@pinklipscosmetics.com.
Thank you.
Go.
Tahirah?
Okay. I'm going to make it easy because we have a couple different social media tags. Our website actually holds a link to our Facebook, our Instagram, our email, any of the messaging that you want to get to for any of the locticians in the shop. It has a link to our classes, our products. So you can visit us at www.sweetwists.net. Or you can come and say hi to us in person. We're going to talk to you through the ring door. So we won't let you in if you don't have an appointment, but we can talk to you still through the door. We're at 1734 East 63rd Street, Suite 106, Kansas City, Missouri, 64110. So again, that's sweetwist.net to find.
So we get and just to let you guys know, let you all know that's on the show, we get a lot of replay viewers. So they'll be able to rewind, pause, write this down, play again, all that good stuff too. So definitely know that you're going to get some folks that's following up with you guys through this broadcast. Lucette?
Okay, so on Instagram, it's Luse Hairs, LUSEHAIRS, and Luse Hairs Products. And then you can find me online to buy our products at www.loosehairsproducts.com. And then our physical location is 2004 Grand, Kansas City, Missouri, 64108. And yep, don't stop by without an appointment here as well. But or give us a call, 816-421-7070 to let us know so you can stop by, make an appointment. So www.loosehairsproducts.com and Instagram at Luse Hairs.
All right, Reese.
Okay, so you can find me on my website, www.thepowderroomkc.com. So that's www.thepowderroomkc.com. You can also find me on Instagram, makeup artist altogether _ Reese. That's REESE. Again, that's makeup artist _ Reese. You also find me, email me as well, thepowderroomkc@gmail.com. Also, my business page on Facebook, The Powder Room Makeup and Skincare Studio, and my business page on Instagram, The Powder Room Makeup and Skincare Studio altogether. And my email, thepowderroomkc@gmail.com. I think I already said that, but
All good. All good. All good.
Thank you.
Ms. Whatley? Yeah. You're still on mute. You're on mute.
There we go.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
There you go.
All right, Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet, named for Shirley Chisholm, and the kitchen cabinet to advance the issues of Black women. You can find us at www.shirleys with an S and not an apostrophe, kitchencabinet.org. If you are interested in the Crown Act and helping us get that passed with the city council here at the local level, you've got a story to share about hair discrimination, you want to join the coalition, you want to lead and put in work to ensure that we can get this passed. If you go to our website under Step In, you can find out everything about the Crown Act and how to sign up. You can also find Shirley's Kitchen Cabinet if you're looking for information about voting, education, small business, anything advocacy related. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Shirley's KCMO.
Thank you. Thank you. I had to. So when you said the Crown Act, I felt like I needed to touch a lock. You know what I mean? Touch a dread.
Shake them dreads.
I'm living vicariously through Sharon. So you know.
I was hoping you were not gonna say dread, and you did. You hurt my heart.
I said lock first.
Hey, just so you know, in the legislation, we say locks. We do not say dreads, and we do not say dreadlocks.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
All right, Mia.
Yeah, so if you want to connect with me directly. You can connect with me at Mimi, MIMIJ online. That's my website. That's my Instagram. That's my Facebook. But if you want to go straight to the businesses, check out the Glamatory. It's GLAMATORY on all platforms. And Grind Pretty, if you are, which all of you are female entrepreneurs. Shayla is part of the group. But yeah, check out Grind Pretty. I do have some really, really, really exciting things coming up with Grind Pretty. So.
Yeah. Be sure to share it on.
I'm in the group too.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you are.
I love it.
Be sure to share it on the Porterhouse KC group, our pages. You know, we love everything that you entrepreneurs are doing, queens. You know, Shayla.
Yes. So as for me, you can find me at www.shaylanash.com. It's where you can see my portfolio. You can book. It also has links to, email me if you want to email me directly, as if you need me for the day, email me, let me know what you need and when you need it. It's beauty@shaylanash.com. You can also see my work on Instagram. And that's at Shayla_Nash_MUA. I also have a Facebook page, which is, I don't use it that much, but you can go there too. And that's Shayla Nash Beauty.
Dope. This is a wonderful conversation. You know what? There's so many gems that were laid. We are entrepreneurs, advocates. That's kind of what we do. And you guys sharing your stories just resonates with us and with the folks that we traditionally support too. So we appreciate you all giving these gems. I mean, there were so many.
Yeah, and taking the time out to be on our show.
Yeah, absolutely. So for more information about the Porterhouse KC, obviously, if you're watching this, you're on our page. So like, follow, share, all that good stuff. And again, we will be back next week. And we are excited for next week too. We're talking about fashion. We gotta get it. We might come with some suits and tuxes and whatnot. Nah, maybe not.
I'm not.
Never not. Okay.
I'm not. I mean, who we having on our next show, they are definitely the elite of fashion. So be sure to tune in next week for fashion. And like one of them helped me dress a little bit. I dressed all right.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work. No, I'm a hater. No worries. All right, good people. Until next week, there's nothing else to say.
All right, thanks.
I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to some. Heaven just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to some. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to some. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking, no, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cause I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight. You see me different every time I stand in life, I make beats more. You control the shift like a keyboard. Hold on, wait, like a paradigm and keep running on like a marathon. Then you reach for your blacks like Farrakhan. But after that be the weedo. Told me that you wanna meet me, no. I don't wanna really be mean, no. But I've had better on the East Coast. Fuck you for the green like CeeLo. All about the green like she go. Phone blowing up like CeeLo too. Guess Ben really got the keys though too. Like I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. Living made me get right. They just gotta sit tight. They can have